Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. The other day I was asked, how do you use the hybrid embossing folders that are available from Stampin' Up? And I showed her and she was suitably impressed. So I thought that I would spend a little bit of time sharing it with you. So a hybrid embossing folder is basically an embossing folder, and you can use it just as is. You don't need to use anything else with it, obviously your card and stuff. But the hybrid bit comes in when there is a die set that is coordinated with it. And so this is called the Delightful Doilies dies, and I have used these before in I think one of my lives, but I thought, well, you know, let's revisit it again. So this one obviously cuts a doily, and I did use this one a few weeks ago when I made a treat basket. So we're just going to focus on these sort of outline ones. And so basically what this will do, it will cut and emboss in one go. So that's what we're going to do today. And to help me work through a card for you, I am going to be using some of the new Stampin' Up papers that are in the January to April 2024 mini, and these are those. And then there's one side of each of the papers is foiled. You can see we've got Moody Mauve and Lost Lagoon, or Pretty Peacock, one of the two, can't remember which. Pretty Peacock, I think. So here you can see on the back we've got sort of more general papers, stripy ones, patterned little blossomy things, and this looks a bit like fishnet stockings to me, but I think that's a great color combo. And it does, as I say, feature these lovely papers. So I made a sample to share with you to start with, to show you how we're going to build this up. And this is the card that we're going to make, but this time I'm going to use some different colors. And here we go. You can see the paper underneath. We've got embossed vellum, and that's what I'm going to share with you today, embossed vellum. And then I'm using another new product, which is these Petal Pink and Pretty Peacock embellishments. They're called foiled gems, and when you look, they've got little flecks of gold in them, and they really are very pretty. So this is my inspiration for my color combo, and this is the card that we're going to create using different colorways this time. All right, so I decided that I would use this this paper. It's got quite a nice small pattern, and so I've cut this like for a quarter sheet of card. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I also have a piece of vellum which is the same size. It's a little bit big on one's end, but we can always do some trimming afterwards. So those are my starting points, and then I've just got a regular card base, 11 by 4 1/4, scored in the middle at 5 1/2, and this is the extra thick card that is just gives the card sort of plenty of stability. Right, so those are my basic supplies. So let's make a start on cutting out our vellum. Right, so inside here, we've got our pattern. This large one will cut the pattern out of the larger doily, and then we've got a smaller one here that if you wanted to do a small piece, you can cut out the middle, or you could use both and then you get sort of a bit of a donut ring, which might be quite pretty. But we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to use the one. Now on one side, and I found it works best if it's the side that has got the logo on. That's what works best for me. And I always mark up my embossing folders with which plate I need to use, just to remind you. So this is going to use the grey embossing plate because some of them are thinner embossing folders, and so they use 2 clear plates. So here we go. So I'm going to put this, and I'm going to put the cutting side upwards, and I'm going to just kind of turn it, and you'll suddenly feel that it will sort of click into place around the embossing folder. So I just need to make sure that we kind of line up, and it will just, you will almost feel it drop in. I just felt it. If I pick this up to show you, it will close up, it'll move. So I'm going to lay my piece of paper, vellum, and I'm going to try and center it as best I can without moving my die. And then I'm going to close this down really tightly, and then I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss machine. And for this, I'm only going to need my number 1 base plate. I'm going to put my embossing folder in, hinge first, and then my embossing plate on top. And if all goes well, we should have a nicely cut and embossed piece. Look at this. There we go. What do you think to that? Isn't that stunning and so simple? So simple. Now, FYI, you will get a little cut line on the other side of your embossing folder, but that does not affect how this performs. Okay. Right, so now we've got our pieces. Hey. And if you wanted to do the same for the middle, you could just use like a smaller piece of embossing vellum and do exactly the same as I just described. So now we've got our little technique done. We've got our 2 pieces that we need to do something with. So I'm going to, in this video, I'm going to use the outside piece here, and I'm going to basically attach this using glue dots. Now I know that you can cut this a little bit longer, score it and fold it over the back, but I found it didn't work as well when you were embossing and cutting. It was just asking too much of everything. So this has got plenty of pattern on it, so I'm going to just attach it at this time with some mini glue dots. Now when I start putting my embellishments on, I'll be able to put some more glue dots underneath those embellishments so that they don't show. Right. I think I'm just going to put one more up the top here. And then I'm just going to line everything up and make sure that that's well pushed into the corner there. I'm going to just slide that into place like this, and then just press firmly. Now I can see that when we use the embossing folder, it does kind of sort of cinch the vellum up a tinsy bit, so it has gone a little bit wider, narrower than my pretty paper. So I'm just going to use my paper snips to trim that down. That side. And my vellum is just slightly longer than my piece of paper. And often that happens, you know, when you're cutting just maybe just a tiny smudge off. Okay, so there we've got a really pretty design. And I think, you know, this pattern is just goes so well with the pattern on the embossing folder, don't you think? So we're gonna pop this onto our card base, and for this I'm just going to use some liquid adhesive. Now if you follow me, you'll know I love my liquid adhesive, but you can go ahead and use whatever works for you. So again, I'm going to line this up because this actually fits onto the card front without any sort of borders. And then I'm just going to open this up and then just press firmly so that sticks. Now I did have a little strip when I trimmed this piece down, because I cut this 4 1/4 by 6. So this makes perfect card if you're using a 6 by 6 piece of paper. But I had to trim off just 1/2 inch, which I just couldn't waste. So we're just going to add that to the inside of the card as decoration, like that. Now for my decoration on the front of the card, I turned to a stamp set with coordinating dies that is in the annual catalogue. And that's the two-tone Flora stamp set with the coordinating dies. And to save a little bit of time, I went ahead and stamped and cut them ahead. So I did a couple of leaves, which I'm going to put the same place that I put the ones on the other card. And I stamped those in Pretty Peacock, and then I stamped my flowers in Petal Pink. So this one I stamped off, and this one I had full strength. So we're going to bring that like that. Now this stamp set doesn't have any greetings, and so unusually for me, I did pull out another set which I've just received. It's sort of new to me, but I thought I would use this one because it's got lots of different greetings. You're in my heart and prayers if you're trying to send a sympathy or someone who's unwell. So very proud of you. That's going to be perfect for graduation. There's a happy birthday. Be grateful for what you have. Be proud of who you are. That's a very inspirational one there. Knowing you brings joy to my heart. Just love spending time with you. Hope you're feeling better soon. So hope your day is a happy one. Now that would be a great birthday card. You could always put happy birthday on say the inside, and hope your day is a happy one on the outside. So we need to decide what. Oh, you can see this is a very new one. I haven't used this one before, but this one, I thought I had used it on another card, but clearly I have not. Right. So let's think. I don't want to cover too much of all of this, and I don't want to lose a lot of my flowers. This one I did sending thanks, and I think I must have got that from a different stamp set. Oh, I know what I did. Here, I used this one. This is one of the new ones from the mini catalogue, and it's got sending thanks, best birthday wishes, congratulations, and happy Mother's Day. Now, this would make a fantastic Mother's Day card, don't you think? Well, maybe that's what I'll forget this stamp set, and we'll do the Mother's Day one. And Mother's Day in here in the US is celebrated in May, but in my home country of the UK, it's celebrated in March. So unfortunately, my mama is no longer with us, but she's always in my thoughts, and definitely in my heart. We miss her a lot. Okie doke. So let's go ahead and block that up and get ourselves a little scrap and some ink. Oh, look at that gorgeous script. If you follow me, you know I just love scripted. A good, nice fonts and scripts. So let's see. Now this one I fussy cut. Just a pair of scissors, but this has got more of a squarish feel to it. So maybe I'm just going to block that up a little bit and see what that looks like. Oh, I don't like it so much. So let us, because with all these lovely florally bits, that is a weeny bit too square. So all I'm going to do is just bring my scissors around and I'm just roughly following how the lettering is, just to sort of basically take the excess off. I hope I've been in shot, kind of trying to see this. There. Happy Mother's Day. Maybe I can just tuck that like over there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some sticking down. And I am going to go ahead and use glue dots to stick down these pieces, my leafy bits. I wonder who I can send a Mother's Day card to. Anyway, comments below. Since my mum's not here anymore and my mum-in-law's no longer with us, I could, let's see. So we pop that one there, and then if we pop a flower, we'll pop our flowers up on mini dimensionals. Just going to pop 3 just to pop that there like that. I want to just make sure it doesn't go outside the footprint of my card. And then we'll pop one down here. And then so this can go underneath that flower there. Okay, and so some more there. Like that. And I'm just going to put a couple underneath my Mother's Day. Well, I'm glad I went to the trouble of actually fussy cutting this, because it does look a lot better than that block. We can just have that sort of coming like this. So what do you think? I'm liking it. I'm loving it. And here's our colour inspiration. So we can put a couple on maybe a couple of these ones here. These are the darker Pretty Peacock. And then if we were to use a few of the others here, and maybe just one in the middle. And now I can probably just add just a couple of, oh, I think that's pretty much, maybe I could just put another little glue dot underneath there, just to hold that bit steady. Like that. And there we have our beautiful cards inspired by this stunning paper called Forever Love and the coordinating embellishments. And I've shared with you how the hybrid embossing folders work. Now you may be wondering, well, what about the other piece that's left? Well, watch a future video and we'll discover together what we're going to do with this piece. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. If you've enjoyed the card and the techniques, then perhaps you'll go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you don't already subscribe, perhaps you'll do that and share my video. I've certainly appreciated you joining with me today, spending a little bit of time, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye for now.